Your entire container can be seized, not held, not delayed, not flagged for review, seized. Your business can be blacklisted from importing into Nigeria permanently or indefinitely. Your Nigerian partner, the company whose name is on your documentation, can face criminal prosecution. And here is the part that nobody tells you clearly enough. None of this will be a surprise. None of this will be unjust. None of this will be NAFDAC acting unreasonably. It will be the entirely predictable consequence of a decision you made or a step you skipped that you knew or should have known was not optional. My name is Dadin Antimola. I am a director at NAFDAC with over 30 years inside this system. I have been on the enforcement side of these conversations, and today I'm going to make sure you understand what you are risking when you try to shortcut NAFDAC compliance. In the world of importing goods into Nigeria, many newcomers often rely on shortcuts, thinking they can bypass regulations. The first common excuse is the desire to test the market first. While this may seem logical, it fails because NAFDAC requires registration for any processed food product, regardless of quantity. Attempting to import without registration only tests NAFDAC's patience, leading to immediate consequences. The second excuse is trusting a Nigerian partner to handle it. This can be a risky move as it creates a false sense of security. Often, this means the partner will import without proper registration, risking not only the goods but also their license and legal standing. This approach multiplies risk rather than transferring it. Finally, some importers believe they can bypass regulations by knowing someone who can sort it out. However, NAFDAC has implemented strict reforms and a digitized registration process that makes informal arrangements ineffective. Bribery and shortcuts are no longer viable options as NAFDAC's system is transparent and well documented. In conclusion, relying on shortcuts like testing the market, depending on partners, or using connections will invariably fail. Each approach carries significant risks and consequences, emphasizing the importance of following proper registration procedures. Let's dive into the financial consequences of NAFDAC seizing a shipment. When this happens, the costs hit from multiple angles, and it's crucial to understand them clearly. First, you lose the value of the goods themselves. If your shipment consists of processed food, you could be looking at a loss between 15 and 25 million naira, and there's no recovery. Next, consider the shipping and freight costs you've already incurred. You've paid for ocean freight, insurance, and handling fees, but if NAFDAC seizes your goods, that money is gone. No refunds or recoveries. Thirdly, think about your Nigerian partner's legal exposure. If they face prosecution, you might be drawn into disputes over legal fees, which can damage relationships and lead to further complications. The fourth consequence is blacklisting. If your company gets flagged, future applications for imports will face intense scrutiny, making it harder and more expensive to do business in Nigeria. This can effectively shut you out of the market entirely. Fifth, we have the often overlooked opportunity cost. While you're facing NAFDAC issues, competitors who are compliant are building their brand and market presence, leaving you behind. Finally, let's talk about reputation. NAFDAC's enforcement actions are public, and word spreads quickly among distributors and consumers. If your product is associated with regulatory issues, it can tarnish your brand long after the financial damages are resolved. The real question is whether you'd prefer to spend 6 months doing things right or risk 2 years of shortcuts that could lead to your business's downfall. Choose wisely. Welcome to the port where many importers think their journey ends, but it's often just the beginning of their troubles. Imagine your container arriving at either Apapa or Tin Can Island in Lagos, and everything seems in order. Your clearing agent has the paperwork and the customs manifest looks good, but then the NAFDAC inspection officer shows up. They don't care about your business history or product quality. They only want to see your NAFDAC registration certificate and the number on your product label. If you can't provide a valid certificate, or if your label number doesn't match NAFDAC's records, the conversation ends abruptly and not in your favor. Many importers overlook this crucial detail until it's too late. NAFDAC and the Nigeria Customs Service have a formal agreement to share intelligence and collaborate on regulated products. Customs won't release any regulated food product without valid NAFDAC documentation. When importers say, "My clearing agent will sort it at the port," they are misunderstanding the situation. This statement implies that customs clearance is sufficient, but NAFDAC operates independently, and the clearing agent has no authority over them. It's like showing up for an exam without studying and hoping for leniency. NAFDAC doesn't grant that. With a mandate to protect 220 million Nigerians, they take their responsibilities seriously. Even if your goods manage to clear the port without immediate NAFDAC intervention, the risks don't stop there. NAFDAC conducts market surveillance across Nigeria's states, visiting supermarkets and warehouses. If they find unregistered products, they seize them, not at the importer's expense, but at the distributor's cost, which can lead to disputes or legal issues for the importer later on. So remember, the port isn't the finish line. It's just the start of a challenging path you must navigate carefully. You're entering a gauntlet where preparation is key, and without proper documentation, you're running blind. Let's talk about the hidden costs of non-compliance in importing. Many importers think skipping registration saves time and boosts sales, but they're actually building on shaky ground. Each month of informal importing puts their entire business at risk. While they rush to market, compliant competitors are gaining a solid foundation. With proper registration, they can advertise freely, secure retail partnerships, and build trust with consumers. This is crucial for long-term success in a competitive market. When enforcement catches up to non-compliant importers, their hard work can vanish overnight. Meanwhile, compliant businesses continue to thrive and grow. The costs of registration are not just expenses. They are investments in a stable future. Compliance isn't just a legal requirement. It's essential for building something lasting in the marketplace. Remember, the path to real success is through legitimate practices that ensure sustainability and trust. Before we get to your free resource for today, let me give you 4 specific patterns I have seen repeatedly in 30 years of watching importers encounter NAFDAC enforcement. Pattern 1. The container that clears customs but never reaches the market. The goods arrive, customs processes them, but without a registration certificate, NAFDAC holds and seizes the shipment. The importer loses everything. Pattern 2. The goods that make it to the warehouse. Sometimes products reach a warehouse before being caught by market surveillance. NAFDAC inspects and finds unregistered goods, leading to regulatory action and loss of both goods and distributor relationships. Pattern 3. The product on the shelf. This damages reputation severely when NAFDAC finds products in stores and orders their removal. Such visible enforcement tarnishes the brand and affects public perception long after the products are gone. Pattern 4. The successful run that ends badly. Importers sometimes operate without registration for months, feeling established and planning expansion, only to have NAFDAC enforcement arrive. By this time, the losses are larger, relationships are deeper, and the collateral damage is significant. 4 patterns, 1 outcome entirely avoidable. Now, here is what I want you to take away from today. Not just the risk, but the tool to assess it. I have created a non-compliance risk assessment card, a structured 1-page document that walks you through the specific risk factors in your current situation as an importer. It asks you 8 direct questions about where you are in the registration process right now. For each one, it tells you what your current exposure level is and what you need to do to close that gap. Whether you are planning your first import, already importing informally, or working through the registration process and not sure if you are moving fast enough, this card will give you a clear, honest picture of where you stand. Download it free. The link is in the description below. Fill it in honestly. If you have gaps, do not ignore them. Use today's video and the rest of this series to close them before enforcement does it for you. Tomorrow on this channel, we are turning the corner. We have spent 3 days on what NAFDAC is and what it costs to ignore it. Tomorrow we start on how to get it right, beginning with the registration timeline. What does 90 working days actually mean? What is realistic? And what decisions in the first 2 weeks of your registration process determine whether you finish in 4 months or 18? That episode will save you months of frustration if you catch it before you submit your first application. Subscribe right now so it comes directly to your feed. Like this video if it gave you clarity. And comment below. I want to know which of the 4 patterns I described today have you seen or experienced? Or if you are starting fresh, which risk factor in today's video surprised you most? I read every comment. I am Daddy Nantimula. This is the Food Importers Blueprint, Nigeria Hub. The next step is yours. Take it the right way. I will see you soon.